Welcome all to our channel GTech Fluent. Our today's topic number 2 in Entity Framework Core video tutorial series is installing the Entity Framework Core into our application. So in this video, we will discuss and understand where to install the Entity Framework Core, what are the package required to install the Entity Framework Core, what are the steps to follow for installation of the Entity Framework Core, and how to use Entity Framework Core into our existing ASP.NET Core application. So let's start, and first we see how to decide where to install our Entity Framework Core. So depending on our requirement, we set up the project and install the Entity Framework Core into our application. For example, your application is a small project. So you may have the presentation layer, business logic layer, and the data access layer into one project. That means we can install Entity Framework Core into our web application, or you can say the single project. So we can say the single layer application, and we can install the Entity Framework Core into the same project. So now let's take an example when the project is a large application. So in that case, we usually have at least three layers. So that project is called multi-layer web application or the multi-layer application. And the layer includes presentation layer, business logic layer, and the data access layer. And these layers are implemented as a separate project. An entity framework core is usually required into the data access layer project. So the data access layer project is nothing but the class library project. So this is the situation. So you need to decide where to install your entity framework core as per your application or as per your requirement. So now let's see what are the package we required to install the entity framework core with the SQL server. As we are going to use SQL server to install the entity framework core and to able to use SQL server as the database, we need to install three nugget package. The first nugget package is Microsoft.Entity Framework Core.SQL Server. The purpose of this nugget package is contain the SQL Server functionality as we are going to query to the SQL Server database. Next package we have the Microsoft.Entity Framework Core.Relational. So this package contains the functionality that common to all relational database. So if you are going to use any other database, you need this relational package. Then we required Microsoft.Entity Framework Core. So this nugget package contains the common entity framework core functionality which is required for our application. So as we discussed, we can decide to install the entity framework core as per our requirement. So we are going to install entity framework core considering our application is a multi-layer application. So we are going to create the data access layer project differently as a class library, and where we are going to install the entity framework core. So let's switch to the Visual Studio and create the class library project. So to create the class library project, open your Visual Studio, click on the create new project, search the class library over here, and make sure you are going to select the .NET Core with the C Sharp. So once you select this, click on the next, give the project name. So we will call sample entity framework core and choose the path where you want to save your project. So we have selected the folder and click on the create. Now we have created the class library project in the .NET Core, and now we are going to install the entity framework core. So right click on the dependencies in Solution Explorer and select manage nugget packages. Go to the browse and search Microsoft.Entity Framework Core. So once you select this, as we discussed, we required to install Microsoft Entity Framework Core, Microsoft.Entity Framework Core.Relational, and Microsoft.Entity Framework.SQL Server. So just install this one by one. Click on OK, accept. Microsoft.Entity Framework Core.Relational. Click on install. as we want to use the SQL Server as the database for our application, so we need to use this Microsoft.Entity Framework Core.SQL Server Nugget package. So let's click on the install. If you want to use the different database with your application, then you may have to install the different database provider for the specific database from the Nugget packages instead of SQL Server. For example, if you want to use MySQL as a database, you need to install Entity Framework Core.MySQL packages. Now our Entity Framework Core package is installed. If you go, so in our application we have installed these three packages which we have discussed. So now let's see how to add the reference to our existing project. So to adding the reference as a class library, we can simply add this reference to our existing ASP.NET Core MVC application. So in our ASP.NET Core video tutorial, we have created the projects. So let's switch to that project and add the reference of this project over there. So here we are in our project. So let's go to the dependency, click on here, add the project reference, click on the browse here, select the path where your project is located. So we have selected the DLL, click on the add, click on the OK. Now our application is ready to use the Entity Framework Core. So in this way, you can install the Entity Framework Core into your application and set up your project as per your requirement. In the next video, we will see how to create the database with the code first approach into the Entity Framework Core. So please let us know if anyone has any query or doubt. We will meet in our next video. Thank you.